Hello, everyone. Sub slightly gay. Oops, I'm in bias. You're banned. I mean, what was going through your mind there? I mean, what was the line of thinking there? I'm curious. One might ask. Starting off with a bang. What's wrong with being slightly gay? Literally nothing at all. That's not the way that person was wording it, though, and you know it. All right, guys. Today we got a lot to talk about. Dalvin Cook is signed with the Dallas Cowboys. Are we Super Bowl bound, folks? Are we Super Bowl bound? We have. Oh, these are my favorite streams of the year. Honest to God, they're up there. I was joking, bro. My fault. Chill. How are you in here? What up, B-Dot? We have our bracket ready to go. If you guys have been here before for one of these, you know how fun they are. I'm putting a link right now. I don't think it's open just yet. We're going to wait a little bit. Let me tweet out that I'm live. Live right now at NBA University. Best defender bracket. You pick the winner. NBA Hall of Fame probability. I want to look at that. I feel like we've done that before, but it's a little bit interesting. Slightly mod as a hoe. I mean, what is going on with you guys today, man? What the fuck has gotten into you guys? There was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, the Anthony Edwards, Kevin Garnett stuff. Do I really care enough about that? Do I really care enough? Anthony Edwards and KG drama. I wouldn't say Dalvin Cook is even washed up. Bro is dry cleaned. Dalvin Cook. Magic did own Ant. What did Magic say? I don't think it's open for voting just yet. I don't think that he's I don't think it's open yet. See, I don't respond with anyone. Oh, okay, I did see that. That was real? Oh, that was a real quote? Wait. Magic actually said that? I honest to God thought that was an NBA Sintel tweet. That was real? I was watching the NOTB guys. What is that? Numbers on the board. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. This was actually a real tweet. I never responded to a guy that's never won a championship. He didn't win a college championship. I don't know if he even won a high school championship. Oh, shit. They consensually ranked the Wolves over Dallas. I mean, honestly, man, is that really that offensive? You gotta realize not everybody is Mavericks fans. Slightly, when is your Luka playmaking video dropping? Tomorrow! Tomorrow! How do I get to the basketball references? I mean, I personally don't really see it either. I just think the Mavs are better than the Timberwolves currently. Now, Anthony Edwards makes a huge playmaking leap. Different story. Numbers on the board said that before in their podcast. In their podcast show, they got to be honest. How do I find the NBA Hall of Fame, the Basketball Reference Hall of Fame probability thing? Where do people get that? Beat them in 5 with Lively getting injured? No, I mean, I definitely think the Mavs are better. Don't get me wrong. 23 months. Partha, 23 months of Side Illusional Club. Just confused where this Wolves leap is coming from. I don't think it's like necessarily that crazy to think that Anthony Edwards takes another big leap and Jaden McDaniels takes a leap. I mean, they're not like this super young team that I think people like to think of them as. Anthony Edwards obviously is young, but then outside of that, it's like you got Jaden McDaniels, who I'm gonna be real. I don't see it. The offensive leap. I don't see. Mike Conley, age 38 leap. He's getting extra dad strength. Some extra dad strength. I saw Luka had like 40-something chance. All right, before we do the bracket, gonna wait for everybody to filter in a little bit more. This pops up every now and then, and it's always kind of interesting to look at. Hall of Fame probability according to Basketball Reference. Now, there's some interesting stuff on here, and it just sparks an interesting conversation. Like, we have 4 locks according to Basketball Reference. There's 4 Hall of Fame locks currently. LeBron, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Steph Curry. All absolutely first ballot Hall of Famers. Now, what's interesting to me, James Harden, 99.99%. Russell Westbrook, 99.93%. Giannis, 98. Jokic, 98. No player in NBA history has won an MVP and not made the Hall of Fame. Now, obviously, that's going to be tested when Derrick Rose retires. Derrick Rose, not a Hall of Famer, but I part of me kind of feels like he'll get in at some point. You know? Part of me feels like he'll get in. Like later. So I wonder, like, what's the 0.01% chance that James Harden, like, what would have to happen? And then in my brain I figured, all right, 100% means if one of these players murdered somebody, if they straight up killed somebody, they would still make the Hall of Fame. Like, the NBA would just be like, hey, listen, we know they killed somebody, but they were just so important to the sport, they got to make the Hall of Fame. Whereas if James Harden ended up killing somebody, they'd be like, yeah, get him. No, he's not making it. Chris Paul wouldn't. Yeah, I guess Chris Paul wouldn't. But obviously James Harden's a lock. Russ is a lock. It kind of makes it interesting how many Hall of Fame locks there are in the NBA right now. Steven, welcome to the Side Delusional Club. It kind of interests me how many active Hall of Famers there are in the NBA currently, because you look at the MLB and I don't feel like it's that many. Dame at 98%. Yeah, Hall of Famer for sure. Giannis, 98%, first ballot, could retire today and make it. Dame retires today. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? I would say yes, but 8-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. Jokic retires today and gets in. Paul George retires today. I mean, Paul George is making the Hall of Fame. 9-time All-Star, he's making it. Kyrie, will be interesting. How much will the voters like hold Kyrie being a nuisance at times in his career over his head? I'm like Kyrie being over Kawhi is insane to me, kind of. Kyle Lowry will make the Hall of Fame. I think that'll probably upset some people, but he's definitely making the Hall of Fame. Kyle Lowry being 10 percentage points over Draymond. I would love to know that reasoning. Kevin Love at 73%. Huh. So in my brain, Kevin Love is the tried and true Hall of Very Good. 5-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. A championship, obviously. I'm not sure Kevin Love's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, Kevin Love being over Jimmy Butler, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like Jimmy Butler is making the Hall of Fame. Joel Embiid, Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson will 100% be a Hall of Famer. Joel Embiid, again, no MVP in history, has won the MVP and not made the Hall of Fame. So he's getting in. DeMar, big drop off, 66% to 46%. Ooh, is DeMar a Hall of Famer? Six-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA. If Tony Kukoc made it, anyone can make it. Well, Tony Kukoc, it's a basketball Hall of Fame. So you do have the international stuff with Kukoc. So immediately we get duh and no back-to-back. DeRozan's an interesting one. I'd draw the line at DeMar, I think. I kind of think I would too. The thing about DeMar, great player, 6-time All-Star, scoring-wise, you know, it's not like his career's over. He's going to go score a bunch. So he's going to have he's going to end up high on the all-time scoring list. But where is he at right now on the all-time scoring list, I wonder? 36th? I actually thought that'd be higher. But we're going to get to the bracket. He doesn't have a playoff moment. You know what I mean? What's the DeMar DeRozan signature postseason moment? Luka could retire today and he's making the Hall of Fame. No question about it. 5-time All-NBA first team. That's enough right there. But then you add in the international stuff, winning Eurobasket with Slovenia, the EuroLeague MVP he got when he was 17 years old. He's making the Hall of Fame if he retires today. Tatum probably doesn't make the Hall of Fame if he retires today. Tatum will make the Hall of Fame, though. I'm telling you right now, 100%. If he just continues along his career trajectory, 26 years old, 5-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, just won the NBA Finals. He'll make it. John Wall, no chance. John Wall makes it. So, okay, how is Gobert 25%? What's going on there? Three-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's making the Hall of Fame. He is without a doubt getting in. He could retire right now and make the Hall of Fame, for sure. 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. How is he at 25%? How is he below John Wall? Al Horford is an interesting one. I feel like Horford being in the twilight of his career for the last 8 seasons. It feels like Horford has been for 8 years now, just in the twilight of his career. That so much so that people forget how good he was in his prime. But I don't think there's a guy in high school called Jack Me Off who's apparent. I don't think Al Horford makes it. Cat probably not. Donovan Mitchell is kind of interesting. See, Derrick Rose all the way down to 10%. Will more than likely be the first All-Star ever to not or the first MVP winner ever to not make the Hall of Fame. But there is an outside chance that he gets voted in later. Horford won a natty at Florida. Okay, that's true. That's true. He was a great college basketball player. Al Horford was. Trae Young, 9%. I would say right now it's probably trending towards no. Isaiah Thomas, no chance. Isaiah Thomas being ahead of Sabonis is objectively hilarious. Devin Booker at 4%. I mean, if Devin Booker's career just keeps trending the same direction, he's making the Hall of Fame. 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. 27 years old. Came into the league so young. He's going to finish so high on all-time scoring lists. DeAndre Jordan, no. Bradley Beal, no. Middleton, no. Drew, 1%. So this is probably the one that doesn't match up with reality the most. Drew is... We talked about this. Drew's probably making the Hall of Fame. Although I think that he should be a line. I question whether or not Drew Holiday is really a Hall of Famer versus a Hall of Very Gooder. But 2-time champion, one of the best perimeter defenders of his era, one of the best defenders, period, of his era. 2-time gold medalist, 2-time champion. Tim Hardaway Jr., 192%. Yeah, he's on here for sure. Zach LaVine, Gordon Hayward, Brooke Lopez, Danny Green. Danny Green not retired. Did Danny Green play last year? Was he on the Cavs last year, or was that 2 years ago? That was last year. No, he was on Philly for 2 games. I have no recollection of that at all. When was that? Surprised Brunson is below Beal. I'm surprised. Okay, Brunson ahead of Jaylen Brown. Huh? What is your greatest non-Hall of Fame player so I can get a baseline for the cutoff? I don't know. Throughout NBA history, it's tough. I think Shawn Marion deserves to be in the Hall of Fame through and through. I 100% believe Shawn Marion deserves to make the Hall of Fame. Four-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. Got MVP votes twice. Defensive Player of the Year votes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Champion. That's right. When you say his name, make sure you say champion. How the fuck is Fred on there, not Kyle Lowry? No, Kyle Lowry is way up there. He's at 85%. Just interesting. All right, should we do the bracket now? You guys ready? Are you guys ready? I want it to be peak viewership, and that's usually like an hour into the stream, but I don't really feel like waiting an hour. All right, I'm starting. I clicked start the tournament. Just make sure you guys can vote. Matches are open for voting. I just want to confirm that you guys can vote. And then we'll get into it. So this is obviously from my man NBA U's the best defender bracket. Oh, I don't want you guys to see the results if you haven't seen already. We're already 1 round into it on Twitter. I don't want you guys to know the results. I don't want it to sway you in any way. Are you guys able to vote on this, yes or no? voting working? Luka has an elite defensive box score plus minus. Just get disrespected in any defensive convo. I think you probably needed a. I see no votes. Oh, there we go. One vote. One of you are voting. Are you joking? Why are we even doing this? I think you might need an account. I honestly don't know. It's been a while since we've done this. Oh, wait. They've changed it. They've changed it. I think you used to be able just to go little thing by thing and vote from there. Now you have to do them all at once. Is this what I'm seeing? Needs account? Then make an account. All right, we'll give it some time then. We'll give it another 10 minutes. Sorry, everyone. We'll give it another 10 minutes so you guys can make your accounts. Make your accounts and get the voting in. Man, I feel like they changed it. I feel like when we used to do this, you used to just be able to go thing by thing and vote. Interesting. All right, speaking of interesting. So we're waiting. What movie are you currently trying to add? What movie are you currently trying to add to your bag? I did add a move. I pulled it out. I'm always like a little bit scared to pull out a new move when I'm playing because I'm just worried that I'm gonna embarrass myself. But I did add a move to my bag and I pulled it out yesterday playing 21 and it worked. It was pretty nasty. Just pull each matchup in chat. That's a lot of work. But it's basically driving. Really can only do it with my right hand right now, but driving a little retreat dribble into a push cross, get to the rim. It was disgusting. I watched that Luka assist video and I was thinking, is passing included in a player's bag? No. But the nice thing about a little retreat dribble is you can go into a push cross or you can just retreat out and then pull up. It's nice. I mean, when people talk about bag, they're usually talking about scoring. I disagree with 3 majorities. So the reason why I'm letting you guys vote right now is I don't want to sway voting in any way. This is always a community-driven bracket. Add the Sham God. They're talking about smooth snatching, breaking ankles, and you know it. Well, I mean, yeah, that's part of a bag. Usually when people talk about bag, yes, they're talking about scoring. They're talking about moves to create separation. All right, how many votes are we at? If we're at double digits, we'll go. All right, we are. PJ should be on there. There's a couple Mavs on here. There's a couple Mavs. All right, I'll wait a little bit longer. Good Lord. You guys have 5 minutes, man. 5 minutes. No, there's Najee Marshall's on there. Najee Marshall and what's wrong with this guy, man? I thought we kind of squashed our beef. I'm not gonna lie. I actually haven't not thought about Slow Hoops fan in so long. Hope all is well with him. Really. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with him. Genuinely, though, I do. I made somebody fall with a sham god in transition one time, and I've been chasing that dragon ever since. Anytime you pull off a nice move, it does feel nice. What do you think about that 7'6" center Mavs managed to grab? From what I saw in Summer League, he didn't look like an NBA player. All right, this is always one of my favorite things to do. The best defender, best offensive player, best whatever bracket. Our good friend at NBA U created it. And we are voting on it as a community. If you haven't gotten your votes in, there's still time. There's still time. Get them in right now. We're going to go round by round, matchup by matchup, and figure out who it is. I don't have a vote. I will only step in to vote if a tiebreaker is needed, or if I think a selection is so egregious that I go tyrannical and I do it myself. We've done that several times where I just disagree so heavily with y'all's opinion that I just go with it myself. Okay? So first round matchups. I've looked at all these. I've voted on Twitter for all of them. There's some very interesting ones. Most of them aren't that close, but some very interesting ones, and it shapes up to be an interesting bracket. So let's just get into it. Victor Wembanyama versus J-Dub. Jalen Williams. Tough pull for J-Dub early on, and Victor Wembanyama sweeps. Victor Wembanyama sweeps, and he moves on, obviously. J-Dub is a good wing defender. It's tough when your team is full of such good defenders that, especially if you're a good offensive player, and this is where, like, comparing players, especially on defense, is difficult because, you know, if your team has good defenders and your team doesn't have to put you on the other team's best player and can save your energy, they're going to do that. But I'll give Jada props. I mean, he was good against Kyrie in that series, and he was really the main guy picking up Kyrie. Now, granted, they double-teamed a lot, but great defender. Tough pull here, though. Tough pull here. Round one to go up against Victor Wembanyama, who I think was the number one overall seed in this tournament. Ignore the seeding here off to the side. Nick Claxton versus Mitchell Robinson. Battle of the New York Centers. The New York-based Centers. Nick Claxton wins heavily, and I would agree with this one as well. Mitchell Robinson, good rim protector. Now, there's some people who factor in rebounding for defense. The idea being that, you know, you could play great defense, but if you don't close a possession, does it really matter? I don't know. I've never really bought into that. You know, I've never really bought into intertwining those things, but Claxton just sort of this incredible shot blocker, but just athletic, versatile defender, which is really what you need in today's NBA. Again, Mitchell Robinson, great, good rim protector and a great rebounder, but you know, Claxton's the right choice here. So far, we agree. Chet Holmgren versus Aaron Nesmith. Chet wins comfortably. A tough pull for Nesmith. Nesmith had a breakout year last year, got an extension, good player, good defender, one of those pesky dog-type defenders who's going to be in your jersey, talking shit. Love those type of defenders, but, you know, it is tough. Tough going up against Chet here. Round one for Nesmith. Dyson Daniels versus Derek White. I'm interested to see what this poll would look like a year from now. But obviously, I'm assuming Derek White wins comfortably, and he does. 31-3. Dyson Daniels voters, make your opinion heard. You have the floor if you want. If you're not just trolling, you have the floor to maybe advocate for Dyson Daniels deserving this matchup. Otherwise, we'll move on. But, you know, there's a world next year. Wow, 3 people watched the full Olympics. Dyson Daniels was good defensively. Dyson is genuinely better than D. White. It's Dyson? Ooh. Look, again, a year from now, I could see this poll looking much differently. Dyson Daniels is a good defender. Haven't really gotten a chance to see it too often at the NBA level, and we will with the Hawks. I assume that he will be guarding the other team's best player night in and night out on the Atlanta Hawks. But right now, Derek White, I mean, maybe the best shot blocker in the NBA who is not a big currently. Alex Caruso versus Zubac. I'd have to imagine this isn't remotely close, and it isn't. Zubac is a pretty underrated defender, I think, especially like Mavs fans have this sort of notion surrounding him, due in large part to the fact that Luka does embarrass him and play him off the court. A lot of the times they play one another, but he is a good shot blocker, good rim protector. He's gotten better, I feel like, too. Not like the fastest guy, but he's like made it work. Just a big human being. But yeah, it's easily Caruso here. Jaylen Brown versus Brook Lopez. I'm interested to see where this one goes. Okay. All right. Now I want to pull up the Twitter one off to the side because I don't. Now I want to say I agree. I agree with this wholeheartedly. This one's tough. Comparing perimeter-oriented players to centers. Brook Lopez's shot blocking is very valuable. Now, Jaylen Brown did win this. Okay, I think whenever we did the voting, whenever I looked at the voting yesterday, Brook Lopez was leading this. But Brook is slow. I do think his fall off is a bit overstated, but man, he did look so slow at times last year. Still a great shot blocker. He's very important to that Bucks defense. But when Jaylen Brown turns it on defensively, he's one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. Totally. Brown had Luka a little shook at times in the finals. Yes, he did a great job on Luka. And I know Luka wasn't at 100%, but he did a great job. I agree with this one. So far, no disagreements. Paul George, Derek Lively. Well, I'm just going to assume Derek Lively wins this in a landslide, and he does. And I think this is right, especially in 2024. Like I said, it's difficult to compare across positions, but Derek Lively, for a rookie center who's supposed to be kind of this raw prospect, such a smart defender, very capable in space, good shot blocker, good rim protector, great athlete. And again, just really held up when he was switched down the perimeter. Paul George, underrated defender now. Maybe. I do think Derek Lively is a better defensive player than Paul George currently, but Paul George is still good. When was Paul George defensive prime? I mean, he was a menace in Indiana. Damn, he made 4 all defense teams. Just because one wins doesn't mean the loser sucks. Yeah, I mean, these are some of the best defenders in the NBA, all of them. Tyree Eason and Herb Jones. I'm assuming Herb Jones. This is a brutal pull for Eason in round 1. I think there's some matchups that Eason could have an argument in, actually. Just didn't play that much last year, and obviously Herb Jones is, Herb Jones. But shout out to Eason, man. I'm interested. I can't wait for the Rockets to either be really good or Tyree Eason end up on a really good team because he just feels like one of those role players that once ends up on a good team and people really see how much he contributes to winning. Well, that's tough for our boy D Live in round 2. Bam Adebayo versus Cason Wallace. Tough pull for Cason Wallace, but this is Bam Adebayo, who has a... Hey, Bam Adebayo is a strong contender here. Bam Adebayo could go all the way here, folks. Keep an eye on him. Watch this space. Cason Wallace, hey, good defender. It's again the same thing with J-Dub. When you're on a team that has so many good defenders and it's just like less is asked of you naturally, then it's hard to really showcase your talents. Jason Tatum versus Jimmy Butler. All right, I'm interested in this. This one caused quite the ruckus on Twitter. Now I have a strong opinion on this. We'll see where you guys went. Wow. Okay. This I will only vote in if needed. Wow, this is exactly how it turned out. I disagree with this one. I mean, I strongly disagree in 2024 that Jimmy Butler's a better defender than Jason Tatum. But it's y'all's world. Now, the popular vote doesn't always necessarily mean you win. Tatum D is overrated as fuck. I mean, the Celtics, defensive versatility is something that really matters. The Celtics put Jason Tatum on the Mavericks centers, and it worked. So the Electoral College, for those non-Americans out there, it's basically something that was implemented in the American political system to give states with smaller populations or whatever the case may be more of a say in the voting process. Is it a good process? I'm not sitting here and going over that, right? But in the electoral process here, I'm going to give myself 5 votes. Okay? I'm worth 5 votes. You guys are worth 1. You guys are worth 1/5 of my vote. And so, would you look at that? 5 votes from me swings this matchup. I'm going Jason Tatum. This was never, yes, submit. Look, before you continue, this is a democracy, sir. What about democracy? I'm sorry. I can't. This is what I felt strongly about in the Twitter poll. It's in 2024, it's Jason Tatum. This is a dictatorship. Isaiah Hartenstein versus Derrick Jones Jr. I'm interested to see where you guys went with this one. This one, I will not interfere. There is a clear and obvious correct choice here, but I will not interfere. Okay. All right. I knew it too. That's why I said it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew this is where you guys were gonna go. You know what? I'm not intervening. I'm not gonna interfere with this one. We're not rigging this election. Okay. I disagree. I think Hartenstein is. I mean, Hartenstein by a lot of defensive metrics was like the best defender in the NBA last year. The best defender in the entire NBA by some defensive metrics. But the argument for Derrick Jones Jr. is he was on a team that went to the NBA Finals last year and night in and night out was tasked with guarding the other team's best player. So there's the argument there. Did have one of the most difficult matchup rating scores in the entire NBA. I mean, every night, it didn't really matter who. From wings to guards, he would pick them up. Was one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. So I disagree. I would go Hartenstein, and the reality is too is like a big defensively is just inherently more valuable than a guard or a wing. But okay, Keon Ellis versus Jaden McDaniels. A tough pool for Keon Ellis, who's a very good defender, very good. Yeah, Jaden McDaniels wins, and I would agree with this, obviously, but a tough pull for Keon Ellis, who's a very good defender, a good, pesky, hard-nosed defender. Where Derrick Jones Jr. had a negative defensive plus defensive. What is DPBM? It's DBPM, isn't it? Defensive box plus minus. Drew Holiday versus Miles Turner. Tough one for Miles Turner. Great shot blocker, obviously. Good defender. I mean, that's just a tough first-round matchup right there. Tough first-round matchup. Dennis Smith Jr. versus Lou Dort. Now, I'm a little bit worried to see the results here. Dennis Smith Jr. obviously hasn't played for the Dallas Mavericks in 5 years, but this community skews heavily towards the Mavs, and he's still very much beloved by the Mavs community. Okay, all right. I didn't know. I didn't know. Dennis Smith Jr., great guard defender, right? But the size, he's smaller. It's Jesus. It's Lou Dort. You know, does he play tackle football at times? Yes, but Kawhi Leonard versus Dylan Brooks. Oh, this should be interesting. There's a clear, obvious answer here. And if it's within 5 votes, I will step in if needed. In 2024, is it Kawhi Leonard? It's Kawhi by a mile. Wow, Kawhi won 75% of the vote. I mean, it is Kawhi, but this guy doesn't fucking play, man. It's Dylan by so much. Oh, I don't know about so much. I mean, I do think Dylan Brooks is maybe a tad overrated as a defender at times. I want to find the matchup between these two and just see what the conversation was. Wow, so 75% of people took Kawhi. Interesting. Dylan gets fried for a living low key. Ah. Do I use my electoral college power on this? I'm not sure. You guys know I love Kawhi Leonard, right? You guys know that I've said that I actually think Kawhi Leonard might be the biggest what if of the last 20 or 30 years in the NBA. If you flip this, it'll be worse than the election in Venezuela. Hey, I get 5 electoral college votes. I'm voting for Dylan Brooks. I don't know though. Let's actually think about it a little bit more here. We can spend some time on some of these. I do think when healthy and out there, Kawhi is significantly better defender than Dylan Brooks. Is it enough to overlook him never being out there at all? Now that is the question. I think Brooks is a big reason why the Rockets were so good on defense. I mean, he's a reason why. In a vacuum in a game 7, both are available. Who are you taking to guard LeBron? I mean, easily Kawhi Leonard. Don't even have 1% defensive IQ. Let's how do you even look at defensive box score plus minus? Which website is that? Dylan is not a technical defender. He's all hustle, effort, and heart, which can make him a good defender. Brooks has aura. Does Dylan Brooks have aura? Does he? Let's see. Kawhi Leonard was 23rd in defensive estimated plus minus last year. Dylan Brooks was 116th. Now, I don't want to base everything on that. All right. You know what? I love Kawhi. I'm letting this one stand. Walker Kessler versus Giannis. Tough one for Kessler, who I'm hoping has a big bounce back season. Giannis and Kawhi. Wow. These two in their primes. Now that's a fun conversation. And the answer is Kawhi. But that's a fun conversation in their primes. Anthony Davis versus Chris Dunn. All right, Anthony Davis. Shout out to Chris Dunn, though. That Clippers defense is going to be good. They got good perimeter defenders out there. They're going to make life very difficult on guards. And Chris Dunn's done a decent job on Luka in the past. Coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb. Mikal Bridges versus Franz Wagner. So this one was tightly contested on Twitter. And I have an opinion on it. So my electoral vote can't swing this. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm picking Franz. I don't. The reality is, and it's partially because Mikal's been on the Nets and a lot has been asked out of him. It's been a while, honestly, since we've seen Mikal at that level where he was second in defensive player of the year. Like, he just wasn't that guy in Brooklyn. Now, going to the Knicks where he's surrounded by much better players and is going to be like the third or fourth option on offense. I mean, he plays defense. I'm not saying he doesn't play defense. I'm saying, is he as good defensively as he was a few years ago? Which, even then, I'm just not going to lie to you, man. Was Mikal Bridges ever as good defensively as we were being told? Honest to God. This is a bad way to base it. I watched Luka fucking annihilate him. We'll go with Mikal. I think Franz is the answer currently. I don't think people realize how good Franz Wagner is. I really don't. I'm a fanatic, I know. I'm a fanatic. I'm a little bit surprised that wasn't closer. Franz can't shoot. This isn't a shooting bracket. Aaron Gordon versus Kevin Durant. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's easily Aaron Gordon, but is there matchups on this where Kevin Durant would have won? Probably, actually. Still a very good defender at his age. Underrated defender. Underrated. But I also think it's like this situation where you don't want to find yourself putting Kevin Durant in a situation where he has to be very good on defense, which is where the Suns are. It's absolutely KD. Wow. I do think it's Aaron Gordon, but I think it's closer than 84-16 would indicate. KD was so good for the Suns last year. He was great defensively for them. Remember, we looked that up, and the Suns were a top 10 defense, or the 12th best defense. That was a little bit surprising. Anthony Edwards versus Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs wins comfortably, and I do think that's the right choice. Anthony Edwards, when he's locked in, very good defender. Yes, he couldn't hang with Kyrie Irving, but that's a very tall task, very tough ask for pretty much anybody. I mean, Suggs is a game-changing perimeter defender. There's only a handful of those guys in the NBA. Legit game-changing perimeter defender, and that's who Jalen Suggs is. Jonathan Isaac versus Peyton Watson. Very fun defenders. I'm assuming Jonathan Isaac wins this comfortably. He does. Peyton Watson gets one vote. Obviously, Jonathan Isaac, don't see him on the court all too often. But when he's out there, it's very fun to watch. Peyton Watson, violent blocks. Vicious blocks. We love a violent block. Healthy Jonathan Isaac is Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, if Jonathan Isaac ever played 70 games at 20-plus minutes a game, 25 minutes a game, would very possibly win Defensive Player of the Year. Peyton Watson might be so good this year. He really might. I like Peyton Watson. I'm happy he made this list. Kristaps versus Jared Allen. I'm interested to see where this goes. Remember, this community skews Dallas Mavericks. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Wow. 49% to 51%. This one I think is probably the most difficult one of the list. Of the first round at least. Oh, this one is very difficult, man. I kind of think it's... In my brain, it's KP, honestly. But I do see the argument for Jared Allen, and it's close enough to me that I don't think I'll interfere with this. It's so close that I don't want to interfere. Did y'all not watch the finals? KP was insane on defense. Yeah. KP's defense was great. I mean, Jared Allen is a really good defender though as well. So that's why I'm okay with this. KCP versus Thibault. This is an interesting one too. I feel like Thibault's PR, which used to be incredible, has taken a hit. And KCP has been so, or was, I guess, so important defensively for the Nuggets. I'm interested to see who won this. Wow, KCP pretty comfortably. Okay. And I'm going to be real with you. I agree with this. I 100% agree that KCP is a better defender than Thibault right now. My answer is KCP. My reason is watch the Nuggets this season. I think Thibault over time. Has. I don't know. His PR is weird. What does Thibault do better than KCP? Get steals. Great shot blocker for a guard. A great defensive playmaker, Thibault is, yeah. But I don't know. He hasn't felt like a top 5 guard defender in the NBA for me for a while. Where KCP at times. Damn, I can't believe they lost KCP, man. That one stings. Dorian Finney-Smith versus Draymond. Tough pool for our guy Dodo, who does end up getting 22% of the vote, but it is easily Draymond Green, even at his current age. Thibault gambles and overhelps too much to be considered a game changer. He is, yes, his gambling can put teams in tough spots. It is Draymond, even at this age. Dorian Finney-Smith shouldn't have gotten a vote. Rudy Gobert versus Jose Alvarado. Shout out to GTA, but it is Rudy Gobert now. The 3 Jose Alvarado voters, can we hear the reasoning? And it better not be just pure hatred. Can we hear... Are there any parameters for this bracket? No. We just make up parameters if needed. It's hatred. Pure hatred. Okay. Oh, Draymond and his 2 burners. All right. That's fair. It's crazy Gobert's got 4 defensive player of the years, man. That's just insane. Amen Thompson versus Scotty Barnes. Wow. Wow, this one's tough. Now, I do think that there is a clear-cut choice, and I will intervene if needed, but I think he might win. Okay. Amen Thompson. I think this is the right call, but this one is tough. Scotty Barnes is a great defender, and when the Raptors get good again, I think people will really, really... We were there with Scotty Barnes, remember? We were there with Scotty Barnes his rookie year. Everyone was like, this is the makings of a future MVP level player. Probably Scotty right now, but I'm in by this time next year. People saying Thompson easily are empty between the ears. I mean, I think people will realize this year how good Amin Thompson is. The Thompson twins in general are on defense and how they're just, I mean, one of one athleticism. The freakish shit that they do defensively. And Scotty Barnes is a tremendous defender as well. I mean, he's absolutely awesome defensively. But I think I do kind of agree with this. Joel Embiid versus our guy Najee Marshall. Oh my God. Najee getting 33% of the votes. Scotty's the best roamer in the league. That's a brutal first round matchup. Amin Thompson versus Scotty Barnes. No, it's Embiid easily. Shout out to Najee Marshall, the knife. Can't wait to watch him in Dallas, but Embiid is still an elite defender. Vince Williams Jr. versus Evan Mobley. A tough pool for our guy Vince Williams Jr., who we do have love for on this channel. But it is Mobley. Interested to see with Marcus Smart coming back, obviously John Morant, but where Vince Williams, where his spot in the rotation is next year. Flopping is not a defensive metric. I mean, Embiid is an elite defender by pretty much every defensive metric there is. And he is. He's a great defender. Jaren Jackson Jr. versus Haywood Highsmith. These are just the fun ones. You get guys in that you know they're going to lose. Haywood Highsmith's a good defender. Jaren Jackson Jr. is the answer here. We've yet to have a clean sweep. Actually, I think the Wemby one was a clean sweep. There's been troll votes in every single one of these. Nickeil Alexander-Walker versus Marcus Smart. Now, this one's interesting to me. Obviously, we're a couple years removed from Marcus Smart winning Defensive Player of the Year. Didn't really play much at all last year with the Grizzlies. $20 games total. Wow. Okay. I was wondering if it was going to be close. I do still think it's Marcus Smart, but Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a great defender. But it's definitely still Marcus Smart at this point in time. Who knows, though? Who knows moving forward? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander versus Sar Thompson. So this is easily a Sar to me. Wow. There's some hatred involved in this. Come on. There's definitely some hatred involved in this one. But I do agree it is a Sar, but 81% of the votes over Shai. Shai is overrated defensively, though. No, he definitely is. A little overrated. A great defensive playmaker. But the Thompson twins, again, their athleticism is just absurd, man. And they were some of the better rookie defenders we've seen in quite some time. And it just is insane that they were in the same class, rookie class, as Chet Holmgren, as Victor Wembanyama. Like, there's another, Toumani Camara is in the next matchup. Like, this was an insane rookie class defensively. You got 5 rookies on here. 5 rookies made this bracket. And I think all of them, well, Kamara's not going to advance over OG, but Kamara was great defensively last season. 4 of the 5 advanced. All right, we got our second round matchups in. I'm going to give you guys some time to vote. In the meantime, we will compare our results to the results of the NBA U poll. Where did we differ? Yeah, Anthony Black, Bilal Coulibaly. Yeah, it's an insane. Oh, I'm sorry, 6. There are 6 rookies in here. I forgot about Derek Lively. How could I forget about D-Live? People always say the Thompson twins. Who's the better defender? It's a little bit difficult because we saw both guys in completely different circumstances last year. I do think Amin's a little bit better. Where do I vote? You can click the link. Are you guys able to vote on the second round? Get your votes in the second round. The matchups are about to tighten up here. The matchups are about to tighten up. This is where the real fun begins. I'd say Amin, especially now that he got coached by Ime. All right, so Victor Wembanyama, obviously, that remains the same. We got Nick Claxton over Mitchell Robinson. Now, in this one, Nick Claxton got 84% of the vote in the NBA Twitter poll, 59%. Chet over Neesmith. Derek White over Dyson Daniels. Caruso over Zubats. Jaylen Brown over Brook Lopez. 66% of the vote for Jaylen Brown. In this bracket, it was 56, so a little bit closer on Twitter. Lively over Paul George. That remains true. Herb Jones. Yep. Bam. Yep. Here's where we did differ. And I had to step in here. This was slightly dictatorship here. Jimmy Butler won the popular vote, 56%, but the Electoral College came in, swung the election towards Jason Tatum. Derek Jones Jr. Derek Jones Jr. in a shocker over Isaiah Hartenstein. Okay. Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels over Keon Ellis. Drew Holiday over Miles Turner. All right. Lou Dort over DSJ. Kawhi over Dylan Brooks. Very close in this poll. 54% in this poll. It was 75% on Twitter. Giannis over Walker Kessler. Anthony Davis over Chris Dunn. No surprises there. Mikal Bridges over Franz Wagner. Now, I personally just disagree right now. I just think Franz is that good defensively, but I don't care that much. Aaron Gordon over KD. Jalen Suggs over Anthony Edwards. Jonathan Isaac. Jared Allen over KP. This one was our closest, I believe. Our closest within one vote. Jared Allen did win this vote on the NBA Twitter poll as well. 68%. KCP over Thibault. Draymond over Dorian Finney-Smith. Rudy Gobert over Alvarado. Amin Thompson over Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes won the Twitter poll with 51%. So that one was neck and neck. 51%, that's the closest matchup on here. And it was close as well on this one. Joel Embiid versus Najee Marshall. Joel Embiid only got 69% of the vote on it. So I said you guys were haters for only giving Embiid 67% of the vote. He only got 69% on NBA's Twitter. Mobley over Vince Williams, Jaren Jackson Jr., Marcus Smart, Asar Thompson, and OG. So we only differed with one pick, I think. I'm sorry, two. The Derek Jones Jr. troll pick. The second round is going to be a rock fight. How many votes? Do we wait a little bit longer, or are we ready to launch into the round two? I think we're ready to launch, huh? All right, Victor Wembanyama against Nick Claxton. So Wemby wins this one comfortably, and Wemby might win this thing. I mean, I'm looking at the bracket right now. Wemby's got a chance to win it, although there's a Final Four matchup here that could just be absurd. But yes, no context here. No contest. It's Victor Wembanyama. Nick Claxton, we talked about him previously in his last matchup. Great defender. Sucks that the Nets are going to be terrible, just because I think we would really see him pop on a good team surrounded by good defenders. There's some not so bad defenders on the Nets right now, but Chet Holmgren versus Derek White. I'm interested to see where this one ended up. Wow. Wow. Tied 17-17. We've talked about it before. There's an easy tiebreaker here, I think, when we're comparing guys like this, where the rim protector is just inherently more valuable, right? Now, Derek White's versatility and all the things that he can provide is great, but I feel like this is Chet kind of comfortably. Like, I'm surprised this is 50-50. We are going with Chet. Derek White protects the rim better than Chet defends guards on the perimeter. It's Chet. It's Chet. That's Derek White put up a hell of a fight. That's a tough second round matchup right there. Chet, bad defensive rebounder. Is Chet an Amish name? Didn't he? Chet's not short for anything, is it? Chet. I could see an argument for Derek White. Objectively, White is a more versatile defender. But having a true 7-footer who is a monster at blocking shots and can move around on the perimeter well enough, I feel like it's just inherently more valuable. Like, that's a guy you build your entire defense around and feel fine about it. It's close. Alex Caruso versus Jaylen Brown. All right, Caruso's getting the vast majority of this votes, and that's about right. Alex Caruso's arguably, if not maybe, the best perimeter defender in the entire sport. Jaylen Brown, a great defender in his own right, but two great Luka defenders. Just two great defenders in general. I mean, everybody at this point's a great defender. Chester. Chet is often short for Chester, according to Google. Chet Marius. Chetavius. Okay. What about Chethew? Derek Lively versus Herb Jones. We will step in if needed here. That's all I'll say. We will step in. Now, I remembered this from 2 years ago. 2 years ago, after the conference finals appearance, Mavs Twitter banded together on the NBA University's best defender bracket and got Dorian Finney-Smith to the championship. Got Dorian Finney-Smith to the championship round. Okay. Now it got close. We almost had to have a martial law situation here and institute a curfew. Overturn. You have 5 votes. I'm not overturning here. We are accepting the results of this election. It's Herb Jones. Come on, man. Come on. What happened to a mobile 7-footer as an anchor to build around? I mean, Herb Jones is a much better defender than Derek White, though. And also, look, I'm just going to be real with you. Lively's not at the level defensively as Chet. Okay? Shout out to Derek Lively, though. Hey, hell of a run, D-Live. Hell of a run. That's a tough second round pool. That's a tough second round pool right there. Bam Adebayo versus Jason Tatum. Bam wins this one comfortably. Yep. Tatum a good defender. Remember, we rigged the vote to get Tatum into the next round. It really didn't matter in the end because whoever won between Tatum and Butler was going to get smoked by Bam. Derrick Jones Jr. versus Jaden McDaniels. Dare I? Dare I? Okay. All right. I knew it was Jaden McDaniels, but I was just worried. Now the huge, Derrick Jones Jr. upsetting Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, Derrick Jones Jr. doesn't really have an argument over Jaden McDaniels. The question is, would Isaiah Hartenstein versus Jaden McDaniels, how close would that have been? Truthfully. Now, remember when Ann said, we have Jaden McDaniels? They got Kevin Durant, but we got Jaden McDaniels. I think that there is an outside case that Isaiah Hartenstein could have made a run a little bit further here. Because Jaden McDaniels is a great defender, made the all-defensive team this past season. I do think that it's maybe a tad overrated at times, but he's still a great defender. He fouls a lot. He is a little bit scrawny, and I think stronger players can give him a little bit of some problems. Jaden McDaniels, that is. Like, I think I personally would have gone with Hartenstein over Jaden McDaniels. I Heart. We're on first name basis with these guys, all right? Was that 0 votes for Tatum? No, we haven't gotten 0. Victor Wembanyama is the only one who has clean swept so far. Drew Holiday versus Lou Dort. And this one's not even a contest for me. This one honestly could have been 100-0. Honestly. So I'm trying to understand the logic here. Something's not adding up. How is Isaiah Hartenstein in this YouTube poll shitting all over Jaden McDaniels, but yet Derrick Jones Jr. beat him? Does that mean you guys would have voted for Derrick Jones Jr. over Jaden McDaniels? The trolling picks don't make sense now, do they, guys? The troll picks don't make sense. It's because you shit on the Derrick Jones Jr. pick and everyone of them feels bad. Legit question, because I haven't watched much of him. What's the argument for Isaiah Hartenstein over McDaniels? A center who's just everywhere on the court, protecting the rim, defending out on the perimeter. Hartenstein is an incredible defender. It's matchup based. Well, that doesn't make sense, though. There's no way you're taking Derrick Jones Jr. over. Well, no, it doesn't make sense. Wait, how does that make sense? Kawhi Leonard versus Giannis. Now, my lord, a few years ago, this would have been a hell of an argument. I just don't know how in today's league, in 2024, you could go with Kawhi over Giannis. But in his prime, yes. I would say in his prime, Kawhi a better defender. Hartenstein has a 2.8 defensive box score plus minus. In 2024, it's hard to make an argument for Kawhi, who's hardly on the court. Anthony Davis versus Mikal Bridges. This should be Franz Wagner. It's AD comfortably. 1 Mikal Bridges vote. No, 2024 Kawhi is still a good defender. That's why. But it's just he's not on the court, man. It's hard. It's hard when he like barely plays. Aaron Gordon versus Jalen Suggs. This has a clear winner in my mind as well. Yeah, it is Jalen Suggs. Aaron Gordon, a very impactful defender, very important for the Nuggets. Right? He kind of makes sure he kind of makes sure their defense goes. But Jalen Suggs, I think, is just a more talented defender. That's a tough one, though. That's a toughie. Jonathan Isaac needs to get the Kawhi treatment. Yeah, but the thing is, though, when Jonathan Isaac plays, he's a better defender than current Kawhi. Speak of the devil, is he up? Jonathan Isaac versus Jared Allen. Jonathan Isaac wins comfortably. Okay. Jonathan Isaac last year, 58 games, 15 minutes per game, and he was number 1 in defensive estimated plus minus. Holy shit. 4.1. That's a huge number. Damn. But current, when Kawhi plays, he's better than Giannis. Is he? I do think Giannis is, and I've said this before, I do think Giannis's defensive impact is pretty overrated. Jonathan Isaac playing 36 minutes a game is a top. Oh, Jonathan Isaac, if you could guarantee he plays 30 minutes a game and stays healthy. Top 30, right? Top 30 just like off the back of his defense alone. KCP and Draymond. Okay, Draymond wins. I do think this is right. Even as he's getting older, Draymond is still an incredible defender. KCP is a good defender. Difference there. John Isaac or Aaron Gordon, if they both play 75 games of the same minutes per game, Jonathan Isaac. I almost just said Rudy Gay. Rudy Gobert versus Amin Thompson. Now, are you guys going to be on some trolling, hating shit? Let's see. A little tiny bit, but Gobert does win here. The Gobert flaws can be talked about later in later rounds. I think right now you have to go Gobert over Amin Thompson. You just have to. Future 5-time defensive player of the year. You think they let him get 5? I don't think there's any way he gets 5. Joel Embiid versus Evan Mobley. This one's kind of interesting, actually. This one's a little bit interesting. I don't know what the results are, but I think Embiid has a pretty decent case. But I'm going to assume Mobley wins comfortably. Oh my God. Okay. I actually did not expect that. I'm not going to lie. I did not expect this to be 50-50. Huh, this one is Giannis is overrated defensively, but Gobert gets a pass. I mean, they're both in the Sweet 16. I kind of think that this is Embiid. I'm just going to be honest with you. This one is close, though. Mobley comes into the league. It is immediately thrusted into Defensive Player of the Year talks. Finishes third in Defensive Player of the Year voting 2 years ago. But I do think that Embiid is a better defender than him right now, right this second. Does slightly have the Bill Simmons hive mind Mobley take bias currently? No, I used to. I'm a little bit off on it. Has Embiid ever finished that high in Defensive Player of the Year? What did I say? He third? I would assume yes. Embiid's gotten at least top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year voting before. He's finished as high as second. He finished second, his second full season in the NBA. I'm going Embiid. Embiid is who I'm picking here. I actually thought you guys would, and here's how you know it's Embiid, because usually you guys, and I say you guys, I'm partially guilty, are on some hater shit when it comes to Joel Embiid. So the fact that was even close speaks volumes, I think. Jaren Jackson Jr. versus Marcus Smart. 2 Memphis Grizzlies squaring off here. And 2 of the last 3 Defensive Player of the Years. I've already seen the 2 most fraudulent Defensive Player of the Years going at it. I'm assuming Jaren Jackson Jr. wins this comfortably. Yes, he does. Just more... Yeah, just more. I mean, the shot blocking and the rim protecting is just more valuable. It just is. Asar Thompson versus OG. Ask me this question 6 months from now. Ask me this question 6 months from now. Yeah. Ask me this question 6 months from now. Asar will be resting in Cancun in 6 months. 6 months? I hope not. That's February. Unless you're saying that he's going to Cancun during the All-Star game because he politely declined his All-Star invitation. Who is more fraudulent, Smart or Gobert? I mean, dude, Marcus Smart's Defensive Player of the Year is fucking nuts. No matter which way you go. All right, so we have our second round in the books. Third round, we're heating up, folks. Get your votes in. In the meantime, we'll head over to Twitter and we will vote on these ourselves. And I'm going to just do my opinion on these. We'll see how the Twitter votes get. Victor Wembanyama. Obviously, Chet Holmgren or Derek White. We ended up going with Chet. Wow. Look at that. 51% to 48%. Caruso versus Jaylen Brown. We ended up going Caruso. Derek Lively or Herb Jones. It's Herb. 82%. We love you, D-Live. Bam Adebayo versus Jimmy Butler. Now, in our poll, it was Jason Tatum. This is Bam Adebayo. Why does this have 18 quote tweets? What are people saying about this? Is this... Oh. All right, that's fair. Isaiah Hartenstein versus Jaden McDaniels. All right. Now, here's where we can have our fun because you guys wanted to fucking troll and put Derek Jones Jr. in there. Now we can have our fun. I'm picking Isaiah Hartenstein, and I don't give a shit if he's going to lose. That's who I'm picking. Drew Holiday or Lou Dort. Easily Drew. Kawhi Leonard or Giannis. This one is in my brain. It's Giannis 70%. Wow. Anthony Davis or Mikal Bridges. Easily AD. Gordon or Suggs. We went with Suggs. We went with Jonathan Isaac. We went with Draymond. We went with Rudy Gobert. And obviously in our poll, it was Amin Thompson over Scotty Barnes. We ended up going Embiid over Mobley. Wow. Look at that. Triple J over Marcus Smart. And we are going OG over Asar Thompson. Wow, that's big. I do think Jalen Suggs is a better defender right now. Jalen Suggs is just in that rare category for perimeter defenders. Would Clay have beaten a single person on this list? No. We got some fun third round matchups. I can already see them. Oh, wow. We have some insane second round matchups. I don't even know how you answer some of these. Can Omax get in this bracket? Probably not. Are we ready? Are we ready? We'll give you guys a little bit more time. Just previewing our third round matchups. Wemby versus Chet. Battle of the two rookies. 1 and 2 in Rookie of the Year voting this past year. Two of the best defensive rookies we've seen in quite some time. Alex Caruso versus Herb Jones. Holy shit. Probably the two best perimeter defenders in the league right there going at it. Bam Adebayo versus Jaden McDaniels. Drew versus Giannis. That's interesting. AD versus Jalen Suggs. Jonathan Isaac versus Draymond. Rudy Gobert versus Embiid. That's fun. Gobert kind of got a nice little run. Jaren Jackson Jr. versus OG. That's interesting too. Yeah, these are tough. See how Luka's participating in another charity game? I did not. These are tough. Luka Weight Watchers in shambles after Jordan released their brand behind the scenes video promo video. Yeah, I told you guys. It was just the baggy ass shirt that he was wearing. That's all. Embiid Gobert is hilarious. That's just an objectively hilarious matchup. Zion was a polar bear in Arlington. Wemby winning this, what's the point? That's what you think now, but then we get to it at the end, and it at least sparks some conversation. It at least sparks some conversation. All right, I'd argue Chet's a better rim protector than Wemby. Well, Wemby and Chet is a fun little matchup. It's what the fuck? The answer is Wemby. Now, this is the first time that Wemby has had a little tiny bit of pushback. Wemby's cruised through this bracket so far. Was the only guy who's gotten 100% of the votes. I think he won his last by like 97% as well. But it is maybe the best defensive rookie ever. Alex Caruso versus Herb Jones. This one is a fucking heavyweight. Man, this one is. Let's see where you guys went with this one. Herb just barely over Caruso. This might be the most tightly contested one we've had yet, and it could end up being the most highly contested one of the entire bracket. I think it's Herb as well, but damn, it's so close. I was kind of hoping one would have a more obvious advantage. That way I could just put it on to the next round. Both these guys are incredible. Herb would never get traded for Giddey. Is that how we're looking at it? Herb can also guard more positions than Caruso. He's bigger. He is slightly bigger, but Caruso can just play up so well that I don't know how much it really matters. Caruso has been coming off the bench, only playing 20 to 25 minutes most of his career. But that's not because of defense. He's only in the league and getting paid and getting traded for because of his defense. He does not do much offensively at all. Caruso has the best defensive plus-minus data out of any perimeter defender in NBA history. I mean, that scared the absolute shit out of me. Her being light in the pants, as Shaq would say, hinders him more than Caruso. That actually just scared the shit out of me. I'm going to go Herb. That's what you guys went with. That's kind of where I'm leaning as well, although they are neck and neck, and that is a brutal matchup. Either way, I wouldn't really argue much. It was a valiant effort, a valiant fight. Caruso's got to be one of the best off-ball defenders I've ever seen. You're talking about guys who will go down as two of the better defenders, at least in recent history. I'll be interested to see how SGA plays in a more traditional offense with iHeart instead of 5 out. I'm just very interested to see just, is Hartenstein starting? Are they bringing him off the bench? That's just going to be a fun storyline to follow. Bam Adebayo versus Jaden McDaniels. This could be Bam Adebayo versus Isaiah Hartenstein. Bam Adebayo wins comfortably, and I do think that is the correct result there. Don't need to say much about it. Jaden McDaniels is a great defender. Bam Adebayo, we'll see how far he goes in this tournament. Drew Holiday versus Giannis. OG is on this list. OG is still in the bracket. Drew by a mile. God. I do, honest to God, agree that it's Drew Holiday. Now, this is where you start to get into the weeds here. Where Giannis' size and all of this makes it difficult to compare it to a guard. But Drew Holiday is that good defensively. Giannis for sure. Drew has declined, in my opinion. So, I guess for me, at a certain point, right, a question has to be asked that doesn't get asked. I think people are scared to ask it. I don't know what the case is. But why is it that when Giannis is on the floor and Brook Lopez isn't, their defense is terrible? I honestly God think Giannis's defense has become overrated a tiny bit by some people. Just being real with you. Just being real. I think that it's become a little tiny bit overrated by some. It's really good. Drew Holiday is constantly guarding the other team's best player. Drew Holiday is so good defensively, and he's okay offensively, but he's so good defensively that he was an unquestioned starter, getting big minutes for Team USA for their Avengers team. Are we sure that Drew is better than Gary Harris defensively? Yes. Thank you for asking, though. Anthony Davis versus Jalen Suggs. A good run for Jalen Suggs, but it ends here. Wow, I'm surprised Jalen Suggs got 10 votes. Clap it up for Jalen Suggs. Good run. Anthony Davis wins there. Jonathan Isaac versus Draymond. Interesting. So obviously Draymond at his peak, one of the best defenders the league has ever seen. I still think is around there. Is absolutely still hovering around where he was at his peak. Not as good. I'm interested to see where this one goes. There's not even enough for me to sway this. All right. So I guess the question becomes, at what point do we hold Jonathan Isaac's minutes against him? We're talking about a guy who played 58 games and 15 minutes per game. Versus the quarterback essentially of an entire defense. Oh man, I disagree so strongly with this one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is where I would draw the line here. I'd rather have Isaac's defense over Draymond's right now. Would you rather have Draymond's defense for 30 minutes a night or Isaac's defense for 15 minutes a night? I mean, it doesn't matter what I say. I can't swing this one. So it is Jonathan Isaac, although I'll say I disagree. This is the result of all the Magic propaganda you push on stream. If that's true, then Franz Wagner would have won round one. Rudy Gobert versus Joel Embiid. That's a hilarious first round. That's a hilarious matchup. Hilarious. Hilarious matchup. Okay. Wow. Honestly didn't expect Gobert to make it this far. I don't know why though. Give me Joel Embiid in the playoffs. I feel like both guys have similar limitations defensively. But it is Gobert. Jaren Jackson Jr. versus OG. Now this one's a little bit interesting. Two guys that are injured all the time. I mean, just kind of objectively speaking, last year was just not a good year at all for Jaren Jackson Jr. defensively, but that team sucked. He had a 30% usage rate. This is close. This is close. And I have to say, I agree with Bacon's. I feel like it's OG pretty comfortably. So I'm leaning on this one. Similar things with OG. You know, I mean, with both these guys. Both are injured a lot. Jackson's only edge is durability. Yeah, but Jaren Jackson Jr. is prone to missing time as well. OG advances. Versatile. Can defend really any position. Strong. Athletic. Just a great defender. I lean OG because at a certain point, having a rim protector who can't rebound is an issue. All right, we are moving on. Where are we at now? The Elite Eight? I actually feel like the Elite Eight doesn't have too many good matchups, to be honest with you. OG Anunoby was a dream Maverick. Yeah, he was. Future former Maverick. Jaren Jackson Jr., yes, does get into foul trouble. I mean, a great shot blocker. At this point, we're just picking nits here. right? All of these guys are incredible defenders, and you just have to find out what separates. Off topic, but do you think you could score on Isaiah Thomas with 20 opportunities? Probably not. No. I'm just going to have to venture to guess no. Now, the ultimate question is, are we just going to get all 1 seeds? Is it just going to be the Final Four just going to be 1 seeds? Right now, it kind of looks that way. Go back and watch game 2 or 3 of last season's stream. You hated his antics in that game when he almost injured our guys by flailing his body. Wait, who? Wait, who, Cole? Jaren Jackson Jr.? The worst NBA defender is stripping the ball out of your hands before you can take a dribble. Yeah, I mean, let's get serious here. It would be one thing if I was like, yeah, I played a little bit in college. Like, you also hated Najee when the Mavs played him. But that's good, though. That's because Najee is a dog, and he gets under your skin when you watch him play. You said Najee was such a bad player when the Mavs played the Pelicans. That's because I was so fucking mad at that game. I do remember saying that. I didn't mean it at the time. Was that the game they beat the Mavs when nobody on the Pelicans played? That was the old me. That was the old me. All right, are we ready? Shall we go or not? We're still waiting on some votes. I feel like the early rounds were a little bit more challenging than this one. There's maybe interesting arguments to be made. All right, Wemby and Herb. Let's get into it. If you haven't voted yet, Wemby and Herb. So let's try to make the argument for the losers this round. Herb Jones. If not the best perimeter defender in the NBA, then he is the top 3. Incredibly versatile. Great instincts as a defender. Defensive playmaker as well. And just the luxury of night in and night out, you know who's defending the other team's best player. Like, that is such a luxury. We have a guy who we feel can take out a good chunk of the NBA by himself. Pel's top 10 defense with Jonas Valanciunas at center, Zion at power forward, and CJ point guard. And that's true as well. And very, very rarely, there's a couple guys, there's only a handful of perimeter guys who feel like they're walking top 10 defenses, which is so rare for a perimeter defender. And Herb Jones is one of them. Alex Caruso is one of them. Where it kind of feels like no matter what, they're going to be a good defense. Herb does everything for them. Vic has great potential, but still kind of Swiss cheese and drop in space at times. So the argument against Wemby would be, like you said, there's some defensive instinct stuff, which obviously he's 19 years old, 20 years old, a rookie. There's going to be stuff that he needs to learn as time goes on. And when he plays more basketball, when he has more NBA games under his belt, he's going to realize, I need to be here. I need to be here on the floor. I need to be here. And it's going to become really scary. but I still think he's a better defender right now than Herb Jones. I'm sorry. It's the absurd length, the absurd size. And it's just the game breaking, just literally everywhere on the court at once is what it feels like when you watch Wemby. When he's like really locked in and going defensively, it's like there's not a space on the court that he can't get to. It's like the most shocking thing. Bam versus Drew. Team USA, guys. Wow, closer than I actually thought. Wemby is a rim protector. Herb is not. Herb can't anchor a defense. So you guys know where I stand on Bam Adebayo. The argument for Drew Holiday, one of the best perimeter defenders of the last 20 to 30 years. The rare, I mean, you look at him size-wise, right? And he's not, it's not like Drew Holiday's like a sneaky 6'7" guard, right? Like he's a guard. What is Drew, like 6'4", if I had to guess? Yeah, listed as 6'4". And people say all the time that, oh, this guy can guard up, this guy can guard up. Very rarely can they actually guard up. Drew Holiday actually guards up. Like you're not really getting an advantage if you have 5 inches on him and you're backing him down. Like there's not really much of an advantage there. Just an incredible defender. If Bam is so good, why do the Heat perpetually wait for a superstar? Because offensively, he's not scoring 25, 30 points for you. But Bam is Bam. I mean, it's him. He's him. Anthony Davis versus Jonathan Isaac. It has to end here. Okay, it has to end here. The argument for Jonathan Isaac, well, when he's on the court, I think Bill Simmons once has called him Bill Russell when he's on the court. When he's on the court, his defensive impact and metrics are just through the fucking roof. Like, if Jonathan Isaac was a player who played a lot, I don't know who we're talking about all time as a defender. But 15 minutes a game is just Kevin Garnett. Devin Booker can be an MVP. You know what I'm saying? Beal, he can be an MVP. Wow. All right, now this is one that I think could be close just because of some hate votes. Gobert versus OG. Let's see. Wow. 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 OG with the leg up on Rudy Gobert right now. Now, I could swing this vote if I want to, but you know what? I don't want four first seeds. So that I'm going to stick with the OG vote. Although I'm not sure I agree with this necessarily, to be 100% honest with you. Gobert, for all of his faults, all of his flaws, literally everywhere he goes, is one of the best defenses in the league immediately. An absurd shot blocker, an absurd rim protector. And I said earlier, I don't really do I don't know if I subscribe to the rebounding as part of defense thing, but if you do, he's a great rebounder. Let me see if it's updated at all. Okay. OG is a fantastic defender, though. But I don't want all 4 1 seeds, so I'm okay with this one. Although I do think it opens the door for Anthony Davis just cakewalking into the championship. All right, so we're in the final 4 now. It's Wemby and Bam. It's AD and OG. Get your votes in, folks. Get your votes in. I don't want to sway any votes. I'm very interested to see where this ends up. Now, Wemby up until this point has cruised 100% of the vote. 94, 83, 71. Bam has 63%, 90. Bam's also cruised. I have to assume AD is also cruised. And OG. OG's had tough, close matchup after tough, close matchup. I thought that there was, Asar Thompson. Give it a few months, and I don't know what conversation we're having here. Asar Thompson or OG Anunoby. I mean, I would assume OG still, but like in a couple months, could Asar be somebody who is making it this far in the tournament? Yeah, OG versus Kamara was tough. Hey man, shout out to Kamara for even making it. All right. How many votes do we have? Are we ready to go? I could swing this vote if I wanted to. I have 5 electoral votes. I could swing this vote. Wemby versus Bam. Will we be doing one of these for the best offensive player too? I would assume so, yes. We need an electoral intervention here. Well, if you know me at all, you know that that's not coming. You know how much I love Bam Adebayo. I mean, it's really tough. It's really, really tough. It's really, really tough. Wemby second in Defensive Player of the Year voting last year. Bam third. I just think that right this second, I think Bam maybe slightly better than Wemby. He's not the shot blocker Wemby is. Bam's not really a shot blocker, right? Wemby 3.6 blocks per game. Holy fuck. With 1.2 steals. Hold on a second. Am I overthinking this? Is it just Wemby? Is it just Wemby? Am I overthinking this maybe? Now I'm actually questioning myself. I think it's Bam. He defends better in space. I think he's just he's a smarter defender right now. His basketball IQ is just higher just by nature of playing more. And he's just a perfect defensive player in today's NBA. Like legitimately perfect. Does everything you'd want a player to do defensively. Literally the perfect defensive player. And Wemby 1000% could get there. And I mean, I actually would be surprised at this point if Wemby does not win Defensive Player of the Year this next season. But currently, we'll give it to Bam. So Bam's in the championship. AD versus OG. Anthony Davis does have the edge. So this is what I... Actually, this is not what I thought the championship would be. I thought it would be Wemby versus Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is still an absolutely unbelievable defender. So we have... Well, if we didn't shit on Gobert... if we didn't shit on Gobert and basically eliminate him through hatred votes, we would have had... The Final Four would have been the top 4 finalists in Defensive Player of the Year. But now we're getting number 3 in Defensive Player of the Year voting last year versus number 4. Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis. AD did win last year, I think. Let's pull up. This would be fun. Let me see if I tweeted it out and we just have a screenshot. That would make my life a little bit easier. I don't think I did though. This one is actually tough. Both these guys are incredible. Both these guys are incredible. Let's pull up. Best defender in the NBA bracket. Okay, all right. Why? Picking the best defender in the NBA. All right. Let's see what we said last year. Shall we? My God, that fucking beard. Jaren Jackson Jr. fresh off of Defensive Player of the Year. I just want to see the bracket, you fat ass. Oh wow, it was Anthony Davis versus Draymond Green. Oh, and I rigged the election. It was Draymond won. Draymond won the popular vote, and I rigged it. Interesting. Interesting. Well, let's see who wins here. Who is it? Wow. Hey, I don't give a fuck. I'm rigging this one too. Wait, I'll give you guys a little bit. I'll give you guys a little bit of more time. I'll give you guys some more time. We have 20 votes. I'll let you guys vote a little bit more. AD got robbed for Defensive Player of the Year so many times. You could make the argument Bam has been robbed. Fell to my knees on my campus after seeing Jonathan Isaac get eliminated. AD is 2 votes away from my electoral swing not even mattering. You can make the argument that Bam should have a Defensive Player of the Year. You can make an argument, okay? If Marcus Smart has a fucking Defensive Player of the Year, Bam whining online makes me respect him less. That's what you have to do to win Defensive Player of the Year, though. You have to whine and cry. That's what the Celtics Mafia media did. Celtics media mafia, the Boston media mob. They're evil folks. These are evil people, folks. We'll give it to Anthony Davis. My electoral swing won't even give Bam the edge any longer. So we have come to a conclusion that Anthony Davis is currently the best defender in the NBA. Anthony Davis, the best defender in the sport still. We voted him number 1 last year. And I came out on top there. It's Jonathan Isaac to me, damn it. Last year I rigged it. Last year I rigged it so that Embiid wins. No, last year I rigged it so that Anthony Davis beat Draymond Green, and I was right. That's insane. When you think about it. What was the reasoning for Draymond? Wemby in a couple years is going to reign over this category. I would say Wemby next summer. I'm pretty happy with where we got with this. Defender's so difficult, and I feel like there's such like a consensus opinion on who some of the best defenders are. Now, best offensive player will be spicy. The best offensive player, as per usual, will be the spicy one. Philly fans are funny compared to Mavs fans. Mavs fans think Luka is a fat piece of shit who is already lapped by Shea and Wemby. Who thinks that? What Mavs fan thinks that, bro? Who fucking thinks that? What Mavs fan? The fat part, okay. What Mavs fan thinks that Shea and Wemby have lapped him? Who? Point me to them. Every Mavs fan I know says Luka is fat and is way worse than SGA and Wemby. You're blind to the most diseased fan base I've ever seen. You think I'm blind to the Mavs fan base? You think I'm blind to the Mavs fan base, man? Really? Worst fan base tier list with right after the Raptors won, the Raptors fans were absolutely insane. Absolutely. I actually forgot about that until you said it right now. But to be fair, I feel like every fan base after they win, goes insane. Lakers fans will always have a special place, yes. Lakers fans are what people think Cowboys fans are. And the big difference is that Lakers fans have experienced the winning recently. So it adds to it. Where Cowboys fans would be actually as annoying as people think that they are if they had won. Now Cowboys fans are just sad, right? Thunder fans, yes, Thunder fans are they're ticking up the list quickly. It's always, I noticed this too. Cubs fans in 2015, 2016 reached a level of bad. When the lovable losers, there's something about the lovable losers turning into winners where the fan base just all of a sudden is like, oh, wait, we don't love you guys anymore. The calculator mafia. The calculator mafia? Oh, shit. Honestly, NBA Twitter is such an insane place. NBA Twitter is such a batshit crazy place that every fan base is kind of insane. Is there a NBA fan base that you have encountered online, specifically on Twitter, that isn't batshit insane? What is the best NBA Twitter follow suggestions? Going on in your settings, putting a time limit on Twitter, and not being on it. Hornets fans, that doesn't count. Magic fans, that's a good shout. I haven't seen too many bad Magic fans. But all it takes is your team getting good once, and then you start to feel disrespected by everybody. If people don't say your team is the best team, then fuck them. I can't believe Domantas Sabonis got a Defensive Player of the Year vote. I'm looking at this right now. There's definitely some weirdos in the Magic. I mean, there's weirdos in every fan base. Magic fan base, yes. It'll become a little bit more apparent as they get better. I think Mavs fans are some of the most self-hating fans on NBA Twitter. So maybe it's just me because most people I follow are Mavs fans, but it feels like Mavs fans have a very online presence. Like, it just feels like it's one of the more vocal online, especially on Twitter, fan bases. Sabonis is a better defender than he gets credit for. I'm actually excited for that Netflix show. Mavs Magic Draft. Yes, that's a great account to follow. Oh my God, it's 3:15. I did not know that this went on this long. Okay, I have to go. I have a phone call soon. If that Netflix show is really getting gritty, they would follow Ant to the clinic. All right, on that note, thank you all for coming out. If you missed any part of the stream, Slightly Biased clips, you can watch it back tomorrow. Slightly Biased video, we're back. We haven't done one in a while, but it'll be the full Slightly Biased video experience. I got a skit planned out and everything. So that'll be fun. Thank you all for coming out. All of the OGs, you guys know I love you very much. Could have spent your Wednesday afternoon anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. Donations, members, thank you guys so much. You never have to do that. Helps me out tremendously. Makes me feel so good. Shout out to NBA University. This was a lot of fun. You guys enjoyed the rest of your Wednesday. Video dropping tomorrow. We'll be back on Friday. What are we going to stream about? I have no clue. No clue what the stream on Friday will be about, but we'll figure it out. Love you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.